It's tea time. Cheers! Are you ready for another week of spilling the tea? It is the good news of Jesus Christ. It is my experiences. It's your experiences. It's life being life, but God being God. What are we talking about? Let's jump into it. I can't wait. Well, I posted a video and it was a deep conversation between a woman and a man about what a top tier man is. Okay, and she laid it out and they said she ate. Okay, but this is what I want to say about top tier relationships. I could rattle off a list of things and it would make a whole lot of sense, a whole lot of common sense. Like I could go do some research and I could tell you all the things that sound really, really good. Shoot, we all could, right? All of us could rattle off a list. But being a Christian believer, how many of us know that we already have a top tier example? Like we already have a top tier standard. And it is written. And we can easily go access it. And the good news is that we don't have to make up our own list. Because the truth is, our list will be based off of our lifestyle, our experiences, our desires, our wants, our needs. It's going to be all based on our circumstances. It's going to be based on us, right? God is more concerned about the plans for our life, what we need. Right? When we find our desires in him, it's not just our desires, but it's the desires that we find in God. So the truth is, it's not our truth. It's God's truth. And what God's truth says is he already set the standard. He gave us a standard through Jesus Christ. What does Jesus Christ exemplify as the standard? Well, I'm glad you asked. The fruits of the Spirit, which can be found in Galatians 5:22-23. If you know what standard we should be looking for in a person, man or woman, it can be found in Galatians 5:22-23. I repeat that. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. These are the things that make a top tier person because God looks at the heart and the character. So if you see a person who has love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, 9 times out of 10, that makes them a top tier person. Why? Because they're modeling themselves after the standard, which is Jesus Christ, which should be something we desire. I'm going to read this to you because I did look this up. Another standard that Jesus showed us is how he treated people. First and foremost, he said, love others as I have loved you. Jesus, as I have loved you. So this is another thing that makes it top tier, a top tier relationship. One of the things that I studied was the word bridegroom. Now you can go so many different ways, but let me apply it here. The word bridegroom is often used as a metaphor for God, specifically for Jesus Christ in the Bible. The church is likened to a bride with Christ as the bridegroom. Let's go a little bit further. When the Bible refers to Jesus as bridegroom, as I said, it is a metaphor signifying his deep sacrificial love for the church, which is considered his bride. Sacrifice. A top tier person knows that Jesus sacrificed. God gave. He sacrificed love. Why? To save us. Right? This means he is devoted to protecting, cherishing, and ultimately uniting with his followers through faith, just as a groom would with his wife. Pause. A top tier person wants to make sure that you're devoted to Christ, that you're protected by Christ's standards, that you're cherished by Christ's standards, and ultimately that you're always united through faith. That is what Jesus set as the standard. This imagery highlights the intimate and covenantal relationship between Jesus and believers, with the ultimate goal of a heavenly union with him. So while y'all out here making a list, and not to say the lists aren't bad, but the truth is, the standard is set. We already know the characteristics of what it takes to be top tier or have a top tier relationship. And all of that should glorify God. If you don't see the example of Jesus, if it's not growing you in faith, in spirituality, in relationship with God, is it truly top tier? If there's no sacrifice, if you don't see the fruits of the Spirit, like, ask yourself, what am I really defining if it's not God? If it's not aligned with God, does my list really matter? Does what I say really matter? I'll leave you with this. It says sacrificial love, the definition, like a bridegroom who would give his life for his bride. That's sacrificial love. Jesus gave us top tier love. He set the standard. So look no more. You don't have to define anymore unless you just want to. It is written. We already have the good news.